Nissan started the trend of the mainstream family SUV back in the early noughties with the Qashqai. At the time, no one really knew what to expect. It bridged the gap between a family hatchback and a small 4x4, and to date has sold over 300,000 cars. So it only made sense that Nissan applied the same crossover treatment to its super mini segment, and what it came up with was this, the Nissan Juke. Much like the Qashqai, the Juke has now been followed by some stiff competition from new rivals like the Vauxhall Mokka and Kia Soul. If there were ever such a thing as a Marmite car, then this would be it. Just look at those bulging fog lamps, wide grille, protruding headlamps and muscular curves. Even those rear lights have been inspired by the 370Z Sports Coupe. The bold styling with these large headlamps and sloping roofline won't be to everyone's taste, but it has taken a leaf out of the Mini and Fiat 500 book by focusing on personalisation. Inside, the dash is logically laid out, and although the plastics aren't up there with the best in class, they're not offensive either. There are some neat touches too though, like this gearbox housing which takes inspiration from a motorbike fuel tank. You may find it difficult to get the perfect driving position because the steering wheel only adjusts for height and it doesn't adjust for reach as well. And while the seats are supportive, they're not as comfortable as many of its rivals. What is also slightly annoying is the usability of the climate control switches. They can be a little confusing. It's all clearly labelled, it's just fiddly, especially if you're trying to change the temperature whilst on the move. Visibility isn't a strong suit with the Juke either. The shallow rear window makes parking more difficult, and the thick rear pillars don't help with reverse parking. If you opt for the Ascenta premium spec though, it comes with a clever reversing camera. Techno models and up come with an all-round view monitor, which gives a driver's bird's eye view, which makes parking an absolute cinch. You'll need to step up to Ascenta models if you want Bluetooth and USB connectivity. Ascenta premium models get a 5.8-inch touchscreen with features such as DAB, Bluetooth and USB. Space has been sacrificed in the interest of styling. This sloping roofline means taller passengers will struggle for headroom in the back, and legroom isn't exactly generous. The glove box is a reasonable size though, and while you do get two cup holders, they're positioned under the central armrest, so if you've got bottles, you have to decide whether you want to rest your arm or have a drink. The boot is a little on the small side, but it can be expanded thanks to these split folding rear seats. It may not seem the most revolutionary addition, but some of its rivals like the Fiat Panda Trekking doesn't have it. The seats fold down nice and easy, and they're not too heavy to put back up. One neat party piece is the boot, which has grown since its midlife facelift. The floor is fully adjustable, so in its lowest setting you can get a buggy in there or a set of golf clubs, but if you raise it up it creates a totally flat floor when you fold the seats down. The Juke is more expensive than any of its rivals, but it will hold on to its value better than anything else in its class, and that'll help when it comes to lower monthly payments on a PCP. Servicing costs aren't especially cheap though. Running costs are a little higher than we'd hope. None of the models in the lineup dip under the 100 gram per kilometre CO2 tax bracket, and fuel economy is higher in the Nismo and four-wheel drive versions. In recent JD Power customer satisfaction surveys, Nissan underperformed against rivals like Seat and Vauxhall, but the Juke performed pretty well, with fewer faults than the class average and finished in the top 5 for the small car class. There isn't the wide range of petrol and diesel engines that you might expect from a mass volume car like the Juke. There's a good selection of petrols, but there's only one diesel, a 1.5 litre. It has a lot of mid-range pull, but it can be a bit sluggish. The only plus point is that it's an attractive option for company car drivers because of its low emissions. We'd be more tempted by one of the petrols, and the best place to start is the 1.2 litre petrol turbo. badged DIGT115. It's relaxing and comfortable to drive and won't cost a lot to run. More powerful 190 and 218 versions are available, the latter which is in Nismo spec, but they're almost a little bit too overpowered for the car. Even at low speeds, the sound of potholes and speed bumps crash into the cabin and it just feels a little unsettled. It gets even worse with top spec versions as they get larger alloy wheels. Strangely, things improve in the sporty Nismo version. It gets an improved suspension system that reduces body lean and does a better job of absorbing bumps in the road. At low speeds, the steering is well weighted and precise, which makes it perfect for urban life. The only trouble is at higher speeds, the weight of steering is a little inconsistent, which doesn't give you the confidence that you need going through faster corners. This is where the Nismo comes into its own. The steering is a little sharper and, as we mentioned earlier, the ride is more forgiving and less roly-poly. Unless you really need it, we'd avoid the CVT transmission as it's noisy and not very positive. The Juke offers a great blend of standout looks and personalisation, but is let down by poor driving manners, practicality and high costs. For more information, search for the Nissan Juke on whatcar.com, and to keep up to date with all our latest video road tests, click subscribe.